I got this video in my recommended chat. New York City banned homeless people from the subway. Asmongold Reacts. Yeah. So we got it. We have to. I'm sure it'll be really good input from Asmongold about how material conditions not being met is really bad, because then homeless people exist and they're homeless, and not the homeless people are stinky and gross and I don't like them. I'm sure it'll be good.
There's a lot of homeless people that are in New York. New York City just banned homeless people from the subway. I wonder why. I wonder what could possibly have been the reason for that.
Beneath the glimmering sidewalks of Herald Square, homeless outreach workers are pleading with a man with bare feet. Others approach another man who refuses to move. This breaks my heart right here. Mayor Adams is determined to change.
So every winter when temperatures drop, the subway sadly turns into a place of refuge for New York City's homeless. And while the city has plans to relocate unhoused individuals out of America's largest public transit network, activists say the homeless have a right to use the subway how they see fit.
You see how they got? Look.
Yes, let's laugh at the anti-homeless architecture. Oh, it's so funny that people who are too poor to afford housing can't even have a comfortable place to sleep. That's so funny. Yeah.
What if you're a fat ass? Like, I mean, damn. Yeah, that's...
Sorry, silly me. It's a joke about fat people. Obviously, duh. Come on, highbrow humor only here.
It's bad. You stop it? Oh, that's true.
To use the subway how they see fit since it's open to the public. But as it turns out, the mayor has plans to change that.
We are getting a better idea of the progress being made under the Adams administration's controversial overnight homeless outreach program.
This is a picture-perfect example of why we should not be saying he has a right to be out there. He doesn't know he needs help.
On a crowded subway station, you've got half the subway.
Yeah, you're right. In the freezing cold, we should send the homeless people somewhere else. Okay.
Cars taken up with people who are sleeping. They're not committing a crime per se here, but this is a symptom of a larger problem.
Yeah, it is.
Sad-looking storefronts here underground where you could once grab a slice or a newspaper or a coffee. Of 195 retail spaces in the subway system, only 52 of them are open for business. A vacancy rate of nearly 75%.
I have two young boys. They're 9 and 13. I don't want my boys walking around that. I don't feel they're safe when we see that.
It's about of course. I mean, like, because the thing is that this is another one of those situations like what I was telling about before.
Like, these people's ideal situation is just to kill the homeless people. Like, forget about not in my backyard. It's just like, I don't want to see them. I don't care if they get sent to the homeless people grinding machine. I just don't want to see them.
Is that I've had to deal with a lot. Like, this is in Austin, right? You think Austin gives a fuck about homeless people? Like, we don't give a fuck. Like, the cops don't give a fuck. Like, nobody gives a fuck. So, like, you just got homeless people. They're building rest spaces. They're building they got 2-story rest spaces under a bridge. Like, I take pictures of it, right? Because it's like, damn, that's crazy. I never thought, I didn't even think you could do that. Yeah, Hobotopia. Yeah, exactly, right. Honestly, it's impressive. I kind of like looking at them, right? And so show it. No, and so like the cops don't care. Like, nobody cares. But I do think that, like, the problem is that every once in a while you do have one of them that's like aggro, right? And like, this is it's
one of them. What? You mean to tell me that people who have been homeless for long periods of time, who haven't had any stable housing, food, clean water, or clean clothing, or like hygiene products, that after enough time has passed, they begin to develop mental problems from being homeless? I would have never guessed that. I would have honestly, I just thought they were fine. I thought they were just doing it because they were mean. Yeah.
It's the same thing what I said before about how like kind of 99% of these people are just fucking like their life sucks so bad they don't want to have anything to do with you. They just want to sit there and like exist. But the 1% that's like hostile or aggressive, they're the ones that everybody thinks about.
This is so frustrating because like, has Asman even been to New York before? Has he? I think he'd be surprised to find that the train stations in New York are cleaner than his house, which is saying something. This like massive homeless people violence problem in New York. I lived there 20 years. I took the train every single day. Stop trying to scare people who don't live there. Please, just fucking stop.
Right? 90% mental illness. Yeah. Yeah. You pull that. Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to pull aggro on that 1%, right?
Understanding our responsibility to help people who are in desperate need, but just can't recognize it themselves.
Yeah.
And there's nothing respectful about leaving somebody to rot.
That's actually a really good point, is that a lot of the people, I think that they usually don't have places to go in a lot of cases. And sometimes they do, but like for whatever reason, they can't go there. And it's just very problematic, extremely problematic. But like, if you put these people in a place with the public, you're going to have a lot of friction, and it's going to create.
If you put these people, sorry, let me send the homeless people to the mines.
It's going to be bad for everybody. It's bad for the homeless people, and it's bad for the public too. It's like everybody loses.
I'm sorry. How is it bad for the homeless people to be able to go into the subway and sleep somewhere that is a little bit warm in the winter? How is that bad for them? When did the homeless people stop being a part of the public?
That one guy said wrong. Yeah, no, he's just a psycho. Like, I mean, you set people on fire. Like, normal people don't set other normal people on fire, right? Like, that's psycho behavior.
Starting to say the subway is turning into an underground wasteland. And we're going to investigate this wasteland to see how bad it really is. But what nobody wants to admit is that you could drastically decrease the number of people living down here.
Why does he care anyways? Republicans hate public transport.
If you do more to help them live somewhere else. But our subway is actually a mess of New York City's own making, with crime and lawlessness so out of control down here. There is still a force of National Guard troops.
Yeah, they got a lot of people down there. Like, this is what they need to do. Like, because, I mean,
no.
The thing is that if you,
oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Sorry. It's so insane to me to potentially, I don't know his life story. I've never been to New York or lived in New York. And then talk about what New Yorkers need. You don't live there. You don't know what it's like to live there. It's fine to live there. I promise you, we don't need the fucking National Guard making sure that people swipe their Metro card so that they pay their $3 fare. I actually don't give a fuck about fare evasion. I actually don't think that the police should be fucking attacking people for fare evasion. I don't think that the police should be beating up homeless people for trying to find a warm place to sleep. It's just insane to me. It's so crazy to me. It's insane. You know what? I think I'm with Asmongold on this one, actually. Just don't choose the homeless class when you're born. I don't know what the big deal is. You're so right.
It's like a problem that gets worse. So, like, if you know that you can go down there and act the fool, you're going to have way more people doing it. Everybody's going to be doing it because now you know that's where you can go and do that. And so you have to have these people there, and it makes itself worse and worse and worse. It's a snowball effect. Exactly, yeah.
Deployed throughout the system, monitoring it for dangerous activity, along with thousands of extra police, and city leaders know that the second they pull out, the criminals are just going to come right back. But you know something? Lawlessness doesn't stop at physical crimes like robbery and assault, which still take place down here because troops aren't riding the trains. The lawlessness down here also includes fare evasion, which costs the city roughly $700 million a year in financial losses. And
$700 million. If it...
Why isn't the public infrastructure generating profit? No. That's just so horrible. Next, you're going to tell me that courthouses don't generate profit. Next, you're going to tell me that USPS doesn't generate profit. How could this happen? No, the system that's developed to make the city better, that's being funded by tax dollars, isn't generating profit? Let's spend another $100 million. You know what? $100 billion on police just to be safe. Quick question. How much money do our highways generate? How much money do freeways generate in profit? Because I think if there are any that aren't profitable, we should put tolls on them immediately. I think we should put tolls on them immediately. I think that that's only fair, actually. I think that only makes sense, actually.
If it costs $700 million to have fare losses, wouldn't it just be better to have somebody there and pay them like $100 grand a year to just stop them from doing that? Like, because I feel like if you have the logic, like,
yes, pay one guy $100 grand to watch the hundreds.
Hey, chat, if you guys can help with a friend's shitty situation, that would be great. Link.
The hundreds of turnstiles in New York? How much could one banana cost, Michael? $100,000.
couldn't you save a bunch of fucking money? But why did they not figure this out? 700 million is nothing. Yeah, but 10 million to pay the guys to sit there is even less. So I feel like it makes sense. Yeah, it's crazy. No, the thing is like the who knows where the money goes. Yeah, I know. It just doesn't. Japan has a system like that. Yeah, no, that's what I would. Yeah, for sure. You can't have people that are crossing the shit and not paying. What the fuck?
This is such a not New Yorker take. Like, you can only have this opinion as someone who isn't a New Yorker. Because I know for a fact that if he was a New Yorker, because every single New Yorker complains about it, he would be complaining about the fact that the prices keep going up. Last time I was in New York, it was $320. Was it $325 a ride? No, $290. It looks like is the current one-way trip right now. It's still under $3. Okay. All right, that makes sense. That's and this is the frustrating thing about this. It's like, if you talk to anyone who actually lives there, and you're like, hey, what do you think about like people jumping the turnstiles? What do you think about that? People fare hopping. Every single person I promise you, will tell you, huh? Get that fucking camera out of my face. I don't give a fuck about that, you fucking narc. And they would walk away. And if you ask them what's the biggest problem in the trains, they'd probably tell you that they're not clean and that the prices are too fucking expensive. It's so absurd to me. It's just so insane to me. Oh my God.
Well, everybody did that.
I spent a semester in New York City for school. Not a single person ever complained about people fare evading. It's just so dumb. It's so dumb. The thing is, Americans are so like car brained. They're such car cells. They don't understand that having a working train system, because like you can shit on New York trains a lot, and trust me, everyone in New York does all the time. But over the course of many, many decades and a lot of labor, the trains have actually gotten pretty decent. Like, if you miss a train, it's like usually in rush hour, it's like a minute or two. At worst, if you live on like a really abandoned-ish station, 15 minutes maybe. People value that service enough that most Americans, if they knew what it was like, would pay tax dollars to subsidize it because it is a significantly better experience over owning a fucking car and having to drive everywhere all the time and pay for gas and pay for repairs and pay for insurance and pay for parking. And you have to be fucking sober. You can't even drink and drive anymore, dude, because liberals ruin everything. So frustrating.
That you couldn't run the system. Automatic turrets. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. They got the turrets? Damn. All right.
When the MTA arrests fare beaters, they tend to have active warrants. On top of that, a high-profile court case involving Jordan Neely, a homeless street performer with 42 prior arrests, has city officials admitting more people could unknowingly be putting themselves and others in harm's way. And that brings us to the real reason why the city is now taking drastic steps to move people
42? Oh, no. That dude, that dude went ape shit. That dude was going wild.
Homeless, living in the subway, out of it. It puts people with mental health issues at risk.
Like, and that's the thing is that Jordan guy, like that guy. I mean, obviously somebody needed to stop him because he's coming at somebody with a knife, right? Obviously. But he should have never been in public to begin with. Like, realistically, he should have never been there. He should have been in a mental institution. He should have been in jail. He should have been in a place where people were taking care of him. There's just something wrong with him. There's something massively wrong with him. And if you don't do that, you put
every knife in the room with us.
Everybody at risk. And this is the problem that people... Greenland, yeah, exactly. That's why we're buying Greenland. We're going to put all of them in Greenland.
Fair for a city that spends as much money as New York does every year not to do more to help people who think this is the only place they have to stay. And with the city set to
you think about how much money the state spent on not Jordan Neely, but what's the guy that killed him? I forgot his name. Daniel Penny. How much money the state spent on Daniel Penny proceedings? Millions of dollars. Like, I'm talking about millions and millions of dollars spent dealing with this guy, processing him, getting him around, trials, conversations, interviews.
Ugh, due process. That sucks, dude. We should remove due process. Honestly, we should just go back to monarchy. That's a good system for sure.
The fucking media. Millions of dollars.
I think we should have a system where people kill other people and they get away with it if they feel like it. That sounds like a good system to me.
When you could have just spent maybe $1 million to keep this guy taken care of, and that's it. That'd all be it. The West has become too tolerant to people that misbehave. The problem is that it is a form of self-indulgent tolerance that is built around trying to make a person feel good and not trying to solve a problem. So these people care more about doing what is optically the right thing.
Who are these people? Who are these people? I believe in policies that work. Guess what? Housing first works. Putting homeless people in housing, helping them get back on their feet is better for everyone. It's better for the people who hate homeless people, want to see them in the meat grinder because then they don't have to see them anymore. It's better for the homeless people, which I care about the most because they get to, you know, not be homeless anymore. And it's better for your taxpayer dollars, okay? Because they are no longer a drain on society when they can try to get their life back together when they have even a little bit of help. Who are these people who are being so woke and they're ruining this country by being so woke?
But they don't care about actually solving the problem. Because like, and this is what I was saying before about how...
And look, you got me an Asmon video. You should have QTC dead.
God, sorry. Sorry.
What's like this performative, selfish empathy that people have. I think this is a great example of it right here. Activism starts when action starts, or stops when action starts. Yeah, exactly. Does the U.S. have forceful institutionalization? I mean, like for like crazy extremes, yeah. But we used to, and
this is the biggest like dipshit take you can have. The biggest dipshit take you can have is pretending to be smarter than other people by being totally unempathetic and saying, actually, I think it's cool to hate homeless people and think they should all be institutionalized. Then it'll definitely fix our problems. You are so unbelievably dumb to think that the homeless problem in America would be solved if we simply institutionalized or jailed all of them. Because you didn't actually fix the thing that made them become homeless in the first place. And you didn't put any systems in place to help people stop becoming homeless. You're still going to continue to have homeless people. We're just going to fill our prisons with Americans. Our prisons will be 90% Americans who just keep getting homeless because we're not doing anything. It's insane. But then you pretend like you're the intellectual because actually I'm willing to sacrifice the homeless people into the homeless crushing machine. You're not smart for being a douchebag, okay? You're not smart because you're willing to sacrifice people who aren't you. If you cared about solutions that worked, you would solve people's material conditions. You would solve the reasons people become homeless, like rising rent prices, inflation, etc. And you would put systems in place that would help people recover from homelessness, like housing first policies that have been tried in many states, that have been tried in many cities, and are proven to work and to be the best thing for a city's economy and just morally. Just morally. But the problem is that like when you're this detached from society, when you're at the point where like you're a right winger and you're a millionaire, and you never leave your house, you genuinely buy into the narrative that like you can't help people and have it be the most financially beneficial thing for a city. It's just not possible to be good and make money. No, we have to put them in the homeless crushing machine. Obviously. It's like a brain disease. To like actively look away from policies that work, that happen to be empathetic and happen to be the best financial decision for a city. Because you just don't believe that things can be good in multiple ways. Stone Corbell, thank you for the 23 months. Mooski, thank you for the Prime copyright. Thank you for 40 months. Thanks, guys. Hassan Scam Coin, thank you for the 13 months. Prozac, thank you for the tier 1. Oh, man.
System we used to have was also really bad. So we got rid of it. And we let them loose. It's all performative. Yeah, that's it. A bullet probably only costs a few cents, right? No, you can't shoot people that are crazy. Because like the thing is that this is the way I see it. Like, if you, like, I pay my taxes every year. Like, my family pays their taxes every year. If we have somebody in the family that's nuts, I would want my tax money to go towards the government taking care of that person. And so, like, you can't just shoot the crazy people because those people's families have paid into this system to take care of them. Right? Like, that's it. They take it. Yeah, exactly. Right? Taxation's theft. It can't be. Taxation is not theft. Theft implies ownership. The government defines ownership. If the government can define ownership, they can also define what is not ownership. You don't own anything. It doesn't exist. It's all a construct.
Controversial congestion pricing scheme, which will tax drivers who refuse to use the subway. The powers that be have decided that if they're going to punish
I don't have any words, man. I can't.
Everyone who doesn't use our dangerous public.
That was like 40 levels too deep for me to even consider. Like, the levels of stupidity on display. I just didn't even consider that, like, you could say something so meaningless. My brain didn't even consider it, dude. It's been too long without the mold. I forgot. I grew weak.
Public transit networks, they better not do it while also punishing the homeless by neglecting them. But as you're about to see, the city's efforts to help people move out of this place aren't exactly going as planned.
See, I just wish that all those protesters that want to go and sing and
trying to say.
talk about how bad Donald Trump is and scream and screech outside of his fucking building. Why aren't you over here on the subways helping these crazy people? Why aren't you helping these people? Like, some of these people are not even crazy. They're just, life is fucked, right? Like, their leg doesn't work or something. Like, yeah, like every single time I see a protest somewhere, it's like, how can you be protesting some bullshit like this when you have people that are homeless? Like, if you just took your time and you put your gas money for $5, everybody put $5 together, make these people food, help them do something, it would be instantly, it's hard. Yeah, exactly, right? Well, that takes actual work. And it's a lot easier to go outside the Trump building and
You have to understand that to be Asmongold or to be Asmongold's fans, you don't believe that people can do more than one thing at a time. That you can do mutual aid and also protest at the same time. You can choose to do different things on different days, actually. I know, it's a really baffling concept, but yeah. Yeah. Also, why are we still on, like, people protesting outside of, like, Trump Tower? When was the last time this even happened? How many people are even doing this?
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm fighting fascism. Uh-huh. Pathetic.
So here we are at the 34th Street Herald Square subway terminal, which is quite large, quite warm, and sadly has become a visual display of the humanitarian crisis taking place beneath the streets of New York City. In fact, this particular area where we're standing right now with this green backdrop here, this used to be the entrance to a mall which has become abandoned, and it's a place where people have been sleeping in the evenings. At least that was what was going on down here until the city decided to take steps to stop that from happening. Steps which many say are extremely controversial. At the same time, look at this place. It's loud, it's bright, there's dripping water, there's trash all over the place. This is not...
It's a shithole. It's obviously a shithole.
I really don't appreciate the level of disrespect. That's coming from a guy who lives in his own filth. I, like, don't appreciate this. This is Go to New York and say that shit, huh? Go to New York, say that shit to some people. Tell me what happens to you, okay? Tell me if they tell you to throw hands, all right? Tell me. Tell me.
Like over in Europe, it's some places in Europe it's like this. In China, it's not like this as much. In Japan, it seems like it's not. This is a shithole. It's disgusting.
Somebody should be
shows some trash cans. This is disgusting. How dare you use trash cans to collect trash? You should throw it on the floor where it belongs.
Trying to live on a full-time basis, that's for sure. And city officials are defending their new plans as being necessary to help those who may not be able to help themselves.
Governor Kathy Hochul said today that Jordan Neely should have been removed from the subway. She is promising a new series of policies to address the state's mental health crisis. That will come as welcome news to those in need and to the boots on the ground, the police officers and social.
So here you have a group of police and outreach workers who invited the press to come with them to this very same subway terminal while they went about contacting, that's what they call it when they interact with people who might appear to be unhoused. And the New York
I live in
Post
London, it's not bad as this. Yeah, I mean, I bet. The reason I said not Europe is that I think that Europe has a lot of disparities. I bet there are places in Europe that are really bad, and there's other places that aren't really bad. That's the only reason I said that. Unhoused. Yeah. So people, the unhoused language, it's like undocumented immigrant. It's like if I go and I steal something from a store, am I an unreceived?
I have to go back. I'm sorry. That was just too much.
Europe is that I think that Europe has a lot of disparities. I bet there are places in Europe that are really bad, and there's other places that aren't really bad. That's the only reason I said that. Unhoused. Yeah. So people, the unhoused language, it's like undocumented immigrant. Like if I go and I steal something from a store, am I an unreceipted customer? No, of course not. It is soft language that's meant to be a euphemism to make people think more positively about the group of people. That's what it is.
So we need to call the homeless people homeless because it would make you feel better to dehumanize them? Huh? What I just don't.
This. It's annoying. Never play into it. They're homeless and they're illegal immigrants. It's that simple. Any other language is a lie.
who tagged along says that 96 individuals were found to be sleeping in this one terminal. And there's an extremely high likelihood that if this investigation had taken place in more places than just this.
Racist take? Is that am I racist? Well, I guess I'm a racist. I don't give a fuck. Like, you want to think I'm a racist? Go ahead. Sure, I don't give a fuck. Like, okay.
That the sad state of affairs down here would be even more obvious. Furthermore, this tag-along only included a stroll through this terminal. They didn't ride the trains, where there are many people who sadly are calling that their temporary home. And although the total number of homeless living in the subway is unknown, this article estimates it could be as high as 4,100 people. And there could be more people living down here in the subway than in some small towns in America, which is shocking. However, what's even more shocking is that the city's efforts to help move people from here to an actual place which has been set aside for them to stay haven't exactly been working.
Each night, nurses and social workers are teaming up with New York City police officers, part of the mayor's latest initiative to offer shelter and services to the homeless, and to involuntarily commit those with severe mental illness who refuse treatment.
So this is the part where things get controversial. Every night you've got these outreach teams that scour the subway looking for folks who might be down here and might not have anywhere else to go. And their goal is to help them go somewhere better than this. And the way this is done is by approaching an individual who might be sleeping or lounging about the platform and asking them if they need assistance, which activists say constitutes harassment, while ignoring the inhumane.
Activists say it constitutes harassment. Well, why aren't activists doing anything that constitutes help?
They are, you fucking idiot. They are. That's the problem. There's no amount of help that individuals can enact that will solve the problem of people becoming homeless. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Oh, that's right. Because they're activists. They act like they're helping.
We're just inventing people to get mad at. We're just inventing people. We're just straight up inventing people. That's it, right? Oh, if activists are so mad because they think we shouldn't put the homeless people in a meat grinder, then why aren't they doing anything? No, I don't know any activists. No, I don't talk to homeless people. No, I don't leave my house. But why aren't they doing anything, these people that I invented? Oh my God, dude.
Of letting people think this dangerous environment is the only place they've got to stay. However, the New York Post says of the 96 people who were contacted and asked if they needed assistance, only 16 agreed to accept. Yet the city does have the authority to involuntarily commit people who could be a danger to themselves and others, something the governor...
Which they should do, by the way. It's not even a question. They obviously should do this.
Says could have saved Jordan Neely, who was part of an altercation in the subway, which made national headlines. And sadly, the governor makes a good point. If you've got people...
Asmon really has to pick a side here. Are activists not supposed to not petition their government officials to change things? Or are they supposed to do something? It's so dumb. It's like, I'm sorry, if you petition your government to change policies in your city or state, that automatically means you are definitely not doing anything else. And it's such a fundamental misunderstanding about what political activism looks like, because this is just someone who's never spoken to or been friends with a single person that's been politically active. This guy's ideas of political activism is watching a trailer for a video game and being like, how dare they made her black. They made her black, dude. It's over for us. It's over. It's like, that's his idea of activism. So it's no surprise at all that when he thinks about other people and he thinks about activism, he thinks about the same level of contribution that he, engages in. But if you've spoken to any actual real activists, they do help people. The problem is there's only so much help. There's only so much time you can even spend in a day helping other people. You spoke to Hassan multiple times, so people are just dumb. Well, no, I'm not even talking about speaking to people. I said, like, he's not friends with any. It's just a total joke. I mean, I'm sure you guys saw it recently, but Lolo and Hassan were engaging in, shocking, I know, crazy, hear me out for a second, mutual aid. Where did I put it? Maybe I'll just go to Lolo's Twitter. Excuse me. Maybe the media tab. There we go. Shout out Water Drop LA. And they posted some pictures working with the staff over at Water Drop LA. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, it is a mutual aid organization dedicated to helping crazy, might be actually relevant in this story, homeless people. Join us for Water Drop every Sunday, 11 a.m. We bring 30 plus volunteers to Skid Row to help drop off 2,000 gallons of water. This is what we call Water Drop by packing 15 plus cars, trucks with water gallons, and fanning out across the region. We're able to reach a significant number of Skid Row residents. While a gallon a week is nowhere near sufficient for healthy survival in Los Angeles' hot climate, we hope this regular water distribution will curb some of the existing urgent need for clean drinking water. And they work with a bunch of other mutual aid networks. It's like, I know, crazy, but actually you can petition for your government to care about the homeless people that live there and also engage in mutual aid and help these people. It's so weird because you can only have like this level of baby brain take if you've never been to a protest ever. Because the amount of willpower it takes to go to a protest, the amount that you have to care about something, people don't care enough to vote. People don't care enough to fucking mail in vote. The amount that you have to care to go and show up to protest. And anyone who's gone protesting also knows in the back of their head or in the back of their mind that there is a small percentage, a small chance that they will get arrested for disobedient behavior with cops. But I'm sorry to say, most of the people who go protesting for social causes they care about also actively in their personal life try to help these people. If you care enough to go protest, you care enough to participate in mutual aid. Shocking, I know. If you're like an activist, you actually don't just do nothing. Also, not everyone has a platform like Hassan. Him showing this on stream will help increase donations. Volunteers create other programs in cities that don't even have one yet. Yep. It's funny because Asmon's chat is absolutely moronic. This chat is equally moronic. Just saying the same inane echo chamber bullshit, but from the other side of the fence. I gotta say, you do seem like the type of person that would have a black and white profile picture. You type exactly like the type of person that would have a black and white profile picture. It's actually crazy. It's like you're like typecast for the role. It's really sick, actually. Very demure. Watch, he's gonna say something about like, I guess classic streamer doesn't want to engage with my intellectual critique and instead will make fun of me. Why should I be surprised? No, it's not lol phrenology. It's like Reddit phrenology. Please, sir, let me engage with you for a moment. Show me the moronic comments you have read in chat. Since they're in the room with us right now, show me one. Please. I'm sure it'll be very easy. And like the thing is, it's not that it's like Asmon's chat's like 20% of them are normal and they just like want to watch this guy play WoW, but they just sit through the rest of this garbage. And then the rest of them are just like insane. Like this guy, the solution is to build affordable housing outside of city centers, but that just doesn't make any money. And then this guy who's enforce no loitering laws, just enforce the law that's already in place. Yes, arrest the homeless people. That will help them get back on their feet. Yes, just put them all in jail. Yes. Surely a felony will help. Surely a felony will help them stop being homeless and help them get a job and participate in society. Famously, felonies are great for that. Just total brainlet. Just no words.
living in the subway who are not in the right frame of mind to take care of themselves, and nothing is done. Those people are at risk.
They put everybody at risk, and they cost the city a lot of money. Like, let's say there's another Jordan Neely, and you know, he gets choked out or killed. Well, this is going to be like the train is delayed, everybody's upset, there's a bunch of police that come down, there's a trial. This is collectively millions of dollars of a problem. $1 million problem. Multi-million-dollar problems. You can't let that shit happen. Shelters close the door till morning. You can't do drugs in there. That's why they won't go. Okay, well, I mean, if they're just sitting there smoking crack, then just arrest them.
I used to ride the train almost every single day in New York for like a decade, and I never once saw someone smoking crack. And I saw a lot of homeless people. And I never saw, not even once, someone smoking crack. I have no words. Like, completely out of your depth here. And just yapping anyways, because why not? It's crazy.
Like, I mean, you gotta do something.
Only I was the one smoking crack. In fact, I kept offering the crack and no one would take.
Thing, right? I mean, like, you can't have somebody doing that. I mean, that's not okay. That's yeah.
1,000 have been approached in the past 3 months, and roughly 1/3 have accepted care, including treatment. The critics say that he should have a right to be in a public subway system on a public street, and he shouldn't be harassed by the city or by the police.
And the critics are so far removed from what everyday New Yorkers want.
Just
Thank you, bro. 100%. And that's not a New Yorkers thing. Anybody, anywhere would think that. It's complete.
Let's rewatch this interaction, shall we? Let's rewatch this.
1,000 have been approached in the past 3 months, and roughly.
I have to say, telling New Yorkers that any reasonable person would agree with Eric Adams is crazy.
1/3 have accepted care.
Let's see. I'm sure the Texan man knows what New Yorkers want.
Treatment. The critics say that he should have a right to be in a public subway system on a public street, and he shouldn't be harassed by the city or by the police.
And the critics are so far removed from what everyday New Yorkers want.
Just
Thank you.
I can't even tell what that interview was even about, because I can't tell if that's a random person on the street or what, but some guy who lives in New York, I don't know if that's someone in particular that I in a position of power or whatever, but that was just a random person, as far as I can tell, that said critics think that they shouldn't be, harassed by the police. And then Eric Adams mansplains to this guy, or mayor-splains to this guy, actually, the critics are wrong, and that's not what New Yorkers want. And then it cuts. Oh.
Bro, 100%. And that's not a New Yorkers thing. Anybody, anywhere would think that. It's completely fucking right. Absolutely.
this morning.
So this report says 5,000 people have been approached by these outreach teams with better results than were witnessed in this very same terminal. And Mayor Adams has had some incredibly harsh words for progressive critics who say people should be allowed to live in the subway full time with no intervention because it's a public place. He says not only is doing something like that inhumane, it is the opposite of what New Yorkers, average New Yorkers, are actually in favor of. Because
he's completely right.
But it's so stupid. Where are they going to go? What do you think making it illegal for them to be in the subway system solves? They're just going to go somewhere else in New York. This is so stupid.
It's absolutely right. Adam sucks, though. What is that? Why would you even say that? He just said something that's accurate. What are you thinking about something else he said in the past that's unrelated to this? What? What are you even doing? Yeah, he's right about this. That's it.
New Yorkers know how much
guy who doesn't live in New York. Eric Adams is right about this.
Trigger word
they
Andy.
are paying in taxes. And when they get on the subway and they want to ride it and they're either unable to or there's no room to get a seat because someone happens to be living there, they say to themselves, where is this money going if it's not being used to take care of people who have nothing? At the same time,
I've literally never thought that in my life ever once. It's never happened. This has literally never happened before. I have never gotten on the train and seen someone sleeping and thought, where's my money going? Hey, wait a minute. I have no words. I'm actually, I'm very annoyed at the number of people in this story that think they can speak for New Yorkers. I'm getting very annoyed. This is insane to me.
2025 is a local election year here in the city, which some say has a lot to do with why new steps are being taken to change how things have been getting done around here.
And what's going to happen is that I bet what's going to happen in New York is the same thing that happened like in a lot of places, is that because people that are like of a liberal leaning refuse to address and solve this problem, people will go towards a much more right-wing solution.
It's a bad solution, you fucking moron. Imprisoning the homeless people doesn't solve the problem. This isn't about morality. This isn't about left-wing or right-wing positions. This is about positions and policies that work. And any position that involves putting them in jail doesn't work long-term. That's currently our strategy and is currently not working. We have evidence and proof that the thing that works, the thing that helps everybody and saves the city money is housing first. Lots of other cities have solved this problem. You guys just don't want to because you want to have a right-wing position of, well, they didn't earn their housing, so they shouldn't have it.
What they actually want because of how fed up they are with the problem. And that's what's going to happen. They completely ignore it. Yeah, exactly. We're already there. Yeah, no. And I think that, like, I'm not, like, I don't live there, right? But, like, I heard that's kind of what happened in the Philippines. And it's, like, also to a degree what happened in El Salvador, too. It's an overcorrection. Yeah.
Because every single time.
Guy who probably knows nothing about the Philippines. I think this is what happened in the Philippines.
And people see
Argentina?
a person
No, I will not elaborate at all.
with nowhere else to go, sleeping in the subway or on a bus. It looks to them like there is a lack of leadership on this issue. At the same time, the mayor and the police commissioners say that they're fighting an uphill battle. City laws only allow them to do so much to help people who might be in a vulnerable, bad situation, and they want state laws to be passed to enable them to do more. And the specific thing they're looking at doing is codifying what is called involuntary removal.
This is a guy, he's got a Skittles box on his head. This is a picture perfect.
Hello, goat.
Hi, stop. Thank you for the 9 months.
Yeah, the right thing to do is to let this guy just shamble around until something goes wrong. And here's another component.
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm not mad, chat. I'm not mad. Do you know?
DNMK comrade, DNMK comrade, DNMK comrade, DNMK comrade.
If you ask the average New Yorker what should be banned from New York subways, influencers or homeless people, I can promise you that it will be overwhelmingly influencers. And it's not even close. You want to know why? Because nobody gives a fuck, Even in this video, nobody is giving a fuck. Look, even in the video they're showing, no one's even looking at this guy. Nobody even cares. How is anyone falling for this? Obviously, this guy should not be doing this. Look at how affected everyone is around him. And, like, the video is just nobody looking.
To this. So we had a guy like this in Austin, and he was like really well liked. He was a homeless guy, but he was old and people beat the fuck out of him. And it was like a big story here in Austin. Everybody knew about it here in Austin. And the people like this are vulnerable. And like if you're going and you're in this situation, you're going to have people that are also homeless. You talking about Leslie? Nah, it was another guy. It was the guy that looked like Santa. Leslie was different. The picture of Dr. Pepper ads on a box? Yeah, exactly, right? And so, yeah, it was this really old homeless guy. Everybody loved him, right? And then people...
I'm from Austin. Literally nobody talked about this.
Beat the fuck out of him. And these people are actually like they're victims because also like if you're a violent person, I mean, this is a movie, right? So like this isn't really like a great example, but like you remember whenever like Patrick Bateman kills like this random homeless guy in like American Psycho? Well, I mean, fuck, we just had one of these things happen very recently, right? Like that crazy guy lit that woman on fire.
Oh my God, he was about to say Argentinian. Oh,
so yeah, no, I mean, like that's and dog, yeah, exactly, right. And so it happens all the time, exactly. So it's like you think that you're trying to like do this person a favor by like having them out there, like somebody out there, like a bad person sees this as a punching bag.
Me talking to my audience. Anyways, you know that movie with Patrick Bateman? Oh, that movie was so good. Remember when he killed that homeless person? Yeah. Anyways, the Argentinian, whatever he was, he lit that woman on fire. You guys get what I mean? What is going on? What? What's happening?
That's just because that's what people do.
We're just saying words.
Like people are just there. There's bad people out there, right? And they'll do that. And it's the denial and the delusion of reality that causes this form of extremely toxic altruism.
It's really like I rotate between being mad and then being sad and then being mad and then being sad. Because it's just like you don't even care enough to look at any of the solutions to any of these problems, but you automatically are assuming that the leftist position on this, which is housing first, can't possibly be the best thing in all ways because it's not cruel enough. Like, what a sad view of the world. That, like, solutions to problems have to be cruel. It's like, what happened to evidence, dude? What happened to facts over your feelings? What happened to that? What happened to that, dude? Mold is a dangerous thing, guys. Mold. Toxic altruism, is that a spell from WoW? I don't. Because he's trying to say that letting the homeless people stay in like the New York City subways is toxic altruism. That's bad for everybody. But he doesn't actually prove this, and he doesn't actually provide solutions for the problems other than like what, jailing them and kicking them out and then jailing them. And when actual leftists provide actual solutions to these problems that will work, that have been tested in countless cities and states, they just ignore them because the solution isn't cruel enough. Like, what? What?
This is a picture perfect.
It's Guatemalan. Yeah, yeah. He's not from here.
He should not be saying he has a right to be out there. He doesn't know he needs help. We have to give him that.
Now, progressive policies say that it would be wrong to intervene in a man's life when he is spiraling out of control, because doing so would take away his right to...
No, nice try though, buddy. Nice try. Progressive policies suggest that we should intervene in a way that isn't fucking putting them in jail. That's what progressive policy suggests. There is no progressive policy that suggests we should do nothing. That doesn't exist. That's the conservative policy.
Self-determination and the pursuit of happiness as he sees fit. And for a long time, various leaders of New York have treated the subway as just another public space and have made people feel bad about their desire to see people who are there and are obviously in distress.
Well, he's gonna die then? Yeah, no, I mean, like, if you want to look at it and say, like, well, it's a battle royale, that's fine. Okay, sure. But, like, whenever this guy gets stabbed and beaten up and then he's dead the next day, then, you know, that's kind of on you because you let that happen. Like, you know, you let the, yeah, that's just how it is. It's free will. Yeah, no, for sure. Well,
hey, Asmon, when was the last time that a homeless person got stabbed and beaten in New York and left to die? Or are we still talking about Patrick Bateman? Because I think we're still talking about Patrick Bateman again.
Also,
I mean, that woman who set on fire, that woman wasn't homeless. He's claiming that leaving people homeless in the street makes them more susceptible to abuse and attacks and murder, which is true. But he's over abusing this narrative to suggest that we need to jail them. Also, doing nothing in this instance would be better than destroying their tents and arresting them. Yeah. The thing is, or not even liberal policy, leftist policy doesn't suggest that. Leftist policy suggests we should help them with, like, housing first. She was sleeping on the subway. Do you know how many times I've slept on the subway? Everybody fell asleep on the subway. Everyone fell asleep on the subway. The other thing that no one ever points out is the fact that, like, what's like a violent crime per capita dates? Hold up, I'm trying to find a half decent source on this. Homicide rates for the year 2022. I believe this is per capita. Coming in at number 1. I guess, like, DC isn't a state, so DC is here. I don't know. But coming in at number 1 on states, Louisiana. Then New Mexico, then South Carolina, then Alabama, Arkansas, Missouri, Alaska, Tennessee, Maryland, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Mississippi, Virginia, Michigan, Nevada, Arizona, Kentucky, Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, Indiana, Ohio, California, Wisconsin, Washington, Florida, Delaware, Kansas, West Virginia, Montana, Oregon, South Dakota, and at 35 is New York. It's almost like highlighting one random instance of a homicide in New York doesn't mean that the city's violence is significantly higher than other cities. You don't highlight one and say, clearly the crime is out of control, when most of these other fucking cities are having school shootings at their malls every other week because they don't want to fucking ban guns. Like, it's so crazy to me. It's so insane to me. But Patrick Bateman was in New York, though, Denim. No, the big cities, they're so scary. They're so scary. What is this? What is it? Don't ban guns. You don't even know what a receiver is. You have no clue what makes a gun a gun. Oh my God. Oh. You're so right, Shawcott. Dude, you know everything about me and all of my life skills and everything I've ever done. Do you live in my walls? You don't even know how often I shoot guns. You don't even know if I own a gun. You're just making shit up. It's like the rightoid strategy. Just make shit up, dude. This is crazy to me. It's so insane. You just make shit up and pretend like it's real. This chatter too. Murders happen every day. Yes, ban guns so the people can be helpless. You are stupid for that. Guys, you got me, dude. I won't recover. How can I recover? No. No, I'm stupid. No. Oh, fuck. Damn it. Darn it. No, it's gonna play out just like in the movies where the good guy has the gun and then he beats the bad guy with the gun. That's exactly what happened in real life, which is why in Uvalde, all the cops went in to stop that guy. Because when the good guy has the gun, he uses it to help people. You want to sell me a bridge? Okay. It's just a poopy brain, dude. I just have no... Oh my God. It's just so good. It's so good. Oh my God, dude. Oh. Oh my God.
Maybe this is a Stu ID question, but do you like Asmon's sweater?
No, I think that the pale green is not a good Christmas color. I don't think it's a good Christmas color, to be honest. Oh my God, this chatter's still going. Don't worry, you're definitely gonna be right, dude. Just keep typing. Just keep typing. It's good. It's good. You gotta first start with what you know, right? You will never make it to the right laws. I call these magazine laws Tommy gun laws. Like people pulling out circle racks and shooting it up. Ha 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 ha! What the fuck are you talking about? Nobody was talking about magazine laws. Literally no one here was talking about magazine laws. You're just, is he talking to himself? I think he might be typing in the wrong chat. I have no, man, I think he's, I think that might be a Joker chatter, guys. I am going to be honest, dude. Oh, man. Man. Denims, do you write laws? Yes, I do. I read all of the laws. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sorry, okay, last one. Sorry. This is toxic femininity just right here. This is my desire to feed into girl bullying. It's not good, and you shouldn't be like me. All right. But you will never make it. What are you talking about? Where am I making it? Make it where? What are you I don't know what you're talking about. America will not be talking about any gun laws. None here. Nope. 2K here? Question mark. Hey, this conversation is over. You're the one still talking, dude. You're the one still typing in here. Oh, God. All right. Okay. Oh, my God. All right. And for the final message of the day on this guy, and then we're going to finish this video. You are so funny. Nice 1K viewers. You are so cringe. You are sitting there fake laughing for an hour. And the only thing you can say is I missed a P. LOL, you are 12. Why are you watching 12-year-old girls on the internet? FBI? FBI? FBI. Chat, you can play with your food. Feel free to, feel free to pet the pet in chat. Oh, God. All right, back to the video.
The thing is, too, that when you just rage on Christmas, I mean, I'm not really mad about, like, I'm not mad. I honestly, I think this is just sad, right? It's sad. And, you know, those people that are a fake statement as fuck, yeah, attacking progressives, yeah, it's outrageous. The sad thing is society won't care. That's libertarian, not progressive. Sure, but people are going to have whatever opinion.
In some way, something that would also make
stupid.
America's largest public transit network safer and more usable for those who pay to use it. On top of that, a public transit network is not designed as a living quarters for anybody. And at present, state lawmakers are considering the Supportive Interventions Act, which would say that a person in need of medical or psychiatric care can be forcibly removed from the streets. But the only terrifying thing about this is it would be the government who determines who needs a psychiatric evaluation, and that's not going to sit right with everybody. And in the future, what if an act like that is abused? However, proponents...
Oh, I think it's the right solution. It is. It's the right it's not a
proponent of small government says, actually, I think we should have big government, because in this instance, it's good. And all of the other instances, I think it's good.
a good solution, but it's the best solution that creates the least friction.
Oh my God.
It definitely will have negative outcomes, but it will create positive outcomes at a higher ratio than anything else.
Of these ideas say that current laws and policies, which do allow for involuntary commitment, don't give the police the tools they need to help those who are now in distress, and who also may not have the agency to understand the effect their choices have on their very lives. However, as you're about to see, there's another cost associated with allowing the subway to be run in this manner, and if the city doesn't do something about it soon, things down here might get even worse.
Yeah, no, I think it's just going to keep getting worse if you let it happen. The government allows it, go figure. Yeah, the utilitarian perspective. No, see, like, I never have any problem to do something that's, like, bad if I think it's the best solution. Like, there are, like, a lot of solutions are not, like, clean. Like, there's very rarely something that, like, you can do that solves a problem with no friction and no collateral
Do
damage.
you remember what I was saying earlier, chat? That, like, you have to understand, in order to be, like, this rotted on, like, right-wing policy, you genuinely don't think that the most empathetic policy, that genuinely caring about homeless people and genuinely caring about their well-being, also happens to be the best financial decision for a city. It's like, it's too outlandish when you build your entire policy or your entire, like, worldview around, no, cruelty is how we fix things. It's very sad because, like, it's just not
Listening
true.
to this man speak makes me lose brain cells.
Yes, yes. Squishy, thank you for the Prime. Addie, thank you for the 4 months. Stern, thank you for the 14 months. Stuff, thank you for the 9 months. Dirtbolt, thank you for the Prime. And Gino, thank you for the 16 months. Oh.
And like any system, it's a trade-off, right? It's obviously a trade-off. And so no one say final. Morals is objective. I mean, like, well, you just try to make the best decision for the most people, right? I mean, I don't know. I think it's super easy to think about, right? Super, super easy to think about. Yeah.
So behind me, we've got a small business. There's a vending machine around the corner here, a couple of ATMs. There are signs of life down here that kind of bring the subway back almost 20 years ago when you used to have all kinds of stores and shops in this environment. A lot of those, however, have not been able to make it. And really, it should be...
I like how he doesn't provide any proof that this is happening because of homeless people. Surely COVID has had no impact. Surely COVID had no impact on businesses continuing to operate well. Like, it's just, did you, guys, shark attacks go up as people eat more ice cream. The ice cream must be attracting the sharks. That's what we're doing. Like, that's what we're doing here right now. That's literally what we're doing here right now. You can't point at something happening and then say it's because, I think it's because of homeless people.
No surprise why a business might find it tough to operate in a high crime environment. That is a visual humanitarian disaster that the city is.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to set up a shop in the middle of this set of Walking Dead. Fucking obviously. Especially then when the zombies come in and they start eating the food. Yeah. No shit. Of course they're leaving.
Not tending to.
Sad-looking storefronts here underground where you could once grab a slice, a newspaper, or a coffee. Of 195 retail spaces in the subway system, only 52 of them are open for business.
Yep.
A vacancy rate of nearly 75%.
So
apparently... And that affects the whole economy.
I'm going to be honest with you. The reason why I've never walked into one of those shops is because the subways are fucking hot as hell, crowded as hell, and they don't smell good, okay? And that's because up until before COVID, the subways basically never got cleaned. We literally just didn't clean them. Like the nice subway stations and the nice train stations that we compare like the US to, or like we compare like New York trains to, for example, the Japanese trains or the Chinese trains or the stations. Guess what? Those stations are nice and clean because they actually get cleaned every day. We don't fucking clean ours. The World Trade Center, or sorry, World Trade is very nice. Fulton. I mean, you can look at a Penn Station. Like Penn Station is really nice. Guess what? Because it gets like managed and it actually gets cleaned. It's also probably really expensive to rent out. There's a ton of empty space outside the subway too. What about that? Yeah. Again, it's also really fucking crowded and hot down there. I don't want to spend more time than I have to.
Maybe because like you got 52 stores there, 150 stores that they're not what do you call it? Not doing business, or 140. That thing, there's at least probably 3 people that work in that store. That's like almost like 500 people that they don't have a job now. You see how this happens? Like there's like a cascade effect. They're not paying taxes. Yeah, it massive cascade.
We've got hundreds of empty kiosks like the one behind me, which makes sense. This is not a great environment to do anything. It's not even a great environment to get on the train, let alone spend money. At least they've gotten around to reopening some of the bathrooms that have been closed for the last 4 years.
Jesus.
That's a good start. And with the high levels of crime and the constant militarization of this environment, it's hard to think of who wants to have lunch in a place like this or buy something expensive. But it's not just this incredibly dilapidated station which is having these types of retail problems. No, in fact, even one of the nicest subway terminals in the entire system, which is located down on Fulton Street, has a similar problem. That facility cost over $1 billion to build. It's designed as both
zombie A-Bake me homeless tomorrow. Hope you don't like being called zombies. Yeah, people can be homeless, and it's actually there's a lot of people that could be, but like I'm talking about people that
would you spend more time?
I don't think that anybody really has a problem with.
You can be honest.
Don't get me started on New York City bathrooms. Lived here for a while and I've never seen one public bathroom. Yeah, but like the thing is, I might be New York brained on this. I don't see the problem. Like, I think that there should be public bathrooms, and like, obviously I've never been to Europe, but they seem to have public bathrooms that seem cool. But I've never run into a problem because you can just like walk into most stores and use the bathroom. Like, there's a Starbucks on every other corner, right? Like, you just walk down one block and there's a place that you can use the bathroom at. Starbucks has a code in that shit. Yeah, you just buy like the cheapest item for like $1. And now you forever have the code for that particular bathroom.
Somebody who's homeless, who's trying to just kind of get by and like get a little bit of money. But the issue is that a lot of these people are on drugs and they can sometimes be violent. I think that's really what the issue is. That's obviously what the problem. Like, I mean, I think really, like, we're not talking about like some guy that like got fired from his job and lost his house. We're talking about people that are like, you know, mentally ill, violent drug addicts that potentially steal things. Yeah, I mean, like that. I feel like you like don't act like these are. It's all the same. It's not all the same. If I was homeless for a long time, I'd consider drugs. Okay, I mean that doesn't have to like. All right, well, yeah, but if you're on drugs and you're making other people unsafe, then like one person shouldn't be allowed.
No retort. He missed the point completely, and then he had no retort to it. The point being, hey, if your life sucks so bad that you're homeless and you've been homeless for potentially months or years, you're not gonna want to be sober. People don't want to be sober for like going and meeting like their family members. They're like, oh no, fuck, I hate my in-laws. No, I don't want to hang out with these. Oh, no, I hate my aunts. People show up to Thanksgiving and immediately get drunk because they can't handle their families. But like when he gets proposed, when the idea gets proposed that maybe people don't want to be homeless and sober,
Asmon
it's like
a lot of shit for a guy who lives in a dumpster.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I barely want to be sober for breakfast. Yeah, buddy, I don't want to be sober to get through a work day.
Allowed to endanger 100 people. That's not the way. You can't make a world.
Also,
like
it's such a fundamentally incorrect position about what drugs do to your brain. Like it's so obvious that he doesn't even know what, like, again, drugs do to you or your brain. Like, you are not a danger to other people because you are not necessarily a danger to other people because you are abusing a drug. Like, it's not like you do one fentanyl and now you want to go stab somebody. Like, that's not, You only think that if you have no understanding of drugs.
You can't have any sort of like you can't have any security there. I'll be honest, I hate seeing homeless people standing in corners begging for money. To me, it's just gross, lowers the appeal of the area, makes it seem dirty. Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, most people hate homeless people. Actually, they don't hate them, but they just would rather see them not around.
Most people hate homeless people. It's very sad, actually. It's very sad. A lot of homeless people in the country aren't even the ones that you see on the street. That's the end stage of being homeless for a long time. Most people that are homeless live in their cars or sleep on a friend's couch.
Like, I think if you gave somebody...
Like these like videos of these like evil homeless people wearing like a Skittles box as a hat. Those are people who have been homeless for a lot of years, for many years. And the problem is that especially if you become homeless young and you aren't able to like bounce back, you are denied all of the opportunities that would make your life easier to bounce back from. So a lot of, for example, queer children who are ousted from their house for being gay or trans that end up being homeless at like 16, 17, and eventually 18, you're never able to solve the problem of a lack of employment because you're never given the opportunity to, for example, seek higher education or get your GED or seek any employment because you're constantly like at rock bottom.
The button to, you know, shoot all the homeless people to the moon, right? Or just not even shoot them to the moon, just to relocate them, get rid of them, right? Not kill them, just get rid of them. I think 80% of people would hit that button. Probably more.
Mall and a transit hub, yet the mall portion is entirely empty. All of the stores are closed, and the mall giant Westfield that was leasing it from the city is in the process of canceling and breaking their lease because they say the city hasn't maintained a crime-free, safe environment to try and lease out stores. And that makes sense. Anybody who spends more than 5 minutes down here understands how quickly they need to get out of here and move on with their day. And certainly, who's going to pull out their wallet or purse to buy?
Somebody said it's a homeless person. It's like begging for money. It's like a subathon. That's good, man. That's real good.
Something expensive if they think something bad might happen to them while they're doing that. But to make matters worse, even the police.
Yeah, I'm for making fun of streamers by, like, for example, calling them e-beggars, because I do think that that's funny. Like degrading streamers. I think that that's funny. Their life is good enough. We're allowed to make fun of them. The other way around, I don't like as much.
Police commissioner has mentioned that she has safety issues with this place as well and doesn't think it's safe enough for her family.
I have 2 young boys. They're 9 and 13. I don't want my boys walking around that. I don't feel they're safe when we see that. So that's what this program.
Yes, show us. What is it? The police commissioner? Yes. Yes. They couldn't find a single person that gave a fuck, so they had to pull up the fucking police commissioner to make somebody look like a Karen. Yes. I fucking hate the guy that's doing this video. I don't know if I mentioned, but what the fuck is this guy's haircut? Yeah, the guy in the video that's making the video, he's got like a fucking bowl cut, dude. Should tell you everything you need to know about him.
It's designed to do.
Brian Stenton is the deputy.
Okay. If you're at the point where you're making a video about concern trolling about homeless people and needing to send them to fucking jail, repping this bowl cut, dude, it's tough for you.
Okay, if this subway is not safe enough for the police commissioner, I'm not sure who it's safe enough for. Yet it's welcome news to many that the city finally seems to be doing something down here about this environment to make it safer for everybody, including those who are in need. And you know, I don't think any of us want to hear at this point that they don't have the money to go about doing this.
As agency cries poverty, pushes for congestion pricing. This is just, bro, like, wasting $1 million. The psychology of fare beaters. Yeah, people, it's simple. if you think you can...
The New York Post, incredible. Yes. Legitimate source, the New York Post, very respectable source. Every New Yorker knows that you can trust the articles that come from the New York Post, correct? Yes.
Get money. If you think you can steal something, more people are going to steal it. That's it. It's that simple. So if you think you can get away with it, people are going to do it.
They're wasting millions on all kinds of...
This dude's actually a fucking hack. Rob did a great video on how he's a prick.
Are things like a study to examine the psychology of those who don't want to pay to use this place. And speaking of losing money, this article says that the subway itself is losing $800 million a year, which is higher than prior estimates to people who evade the fare. Oddly, that number is just $200 million less.
The thing that's so infuriating about this shit is like, it's just such a misunderstanding on what public goods are supposed to do. It would be like saying Social Security loses us millions every year. What? What are you talking about? It's not supposed to generate profit. It's supposed to be beneficial to the people who are currently living with us today. We're supposed to pay tax dollars in and get something out of it that's useful and beneficial for everyone. Huh?
Then the $1 billion their congestion pricing scheme, which is going to tax cars, needs to generate by law to even be in place.
So like now people with cars have to pay more because there's a crackhead on the subway that doesn't want to pay the money? That doesn't really seem very fair to me. Yeah, it seems like a bit of bullshit to me.
I think that that's actually good. I think actually that's good. I think people who can't afford the fare shouldn't be forced to pay more. And I think people who can afford the fare should subsidize it for the people who are poorer. Actually.
I don't know about that.
In the first place. And what this essentially means is that if you have a car, you will now be subsidizing crime and lawlessness down here in the subway itself. What a beautiful system.
5,600 people made contact. 1,700 were placed. Is the discrepancy there people who didn't want help, or are there not spaces for them?
No, there are spaces for them, in fact. And people do have a right to say no. The mayor says they don't have a right to be sleeping in the subway system. So what they do is they just move on. They get out.
So apparently the city does.
I like that it cut off right there. Move on where? What do you think they do after that, huh?
Then have facilities that are set up for folks who might be down here and think that this is the only place they can stay. But apparently those facilities remain empty because a lot of the people down here don't want to use them, which brings us back to the start of this video where folks like...
Even more of a lack of understanding about shelters. It's just, it's the problem is that it's a lot of people who've just never spoken to anyone who's been homeless, has never done any outreach or mutual aid for anyone who has either been homeless or is approaching homelessness, has never talked. Like, it's just, why do you think it is that people don't want to go to shelters? Because they'd rather be in a train. They'd rather sleep somewhere where the trains are loud as shit just for funsies. Huh, it's almost like there are other reasons. Someone in chat had a very good chat message earlier about it, but I fucking lost it. Like a fool. See if I can pull it up. This chat message. He's an idiot. The reason most people don't want to go to shelters is 1, they don't let you bring that many things in. 2, you sleep on the floor half the time. And what valuable, important documents you do have are likely to be stolen. 3, there's a lot of pests, bed bugs, lice, and other problems like norovirus and flu in the winter. 4, you can't bring any pets. 5, people get assaulted or sexual assaulted all the time. Like, there's a reason that these shelters are not constantly at capacity. It's almost like they're not safe places to be. Oh, and the other thing as well is that I know they have very strict like check-in and check-out times for shelters. So like if you're not in the shelter by, oh, I don't remember like this particular hours of the shelters in New York, but I know a lot of shelters it's like you have to be in by like 7 p.m. And if you're not, then you're not allowed to check in. You have to spend the rest of the night out on the street. It's like it's not made for people. It's made for like one very select group that is down on their luck and has nothing and also has nothing to lose and also doesn't mind being somewhere where they might get assaulted where no one will do anything, or they might be robbed, or they might get infected with fucking lice. Also, the ones in California, they're always full. Good luck getting in one, even if you really, really need it. Along with it not being safe. Yeah. And it's like, this is so baby brain to me. It's like, you really are going to like make a video where you look me in the eyes and tell me that the homeless people are dumb and stupid because they'd rather sleep in the train stations? Like, are we, this is the journalism on display right now? Are you fucking kidding me? There is a fundamental difference between a shelter and housing first. Housing first requires that each resident get their own space with their own bathroom, with their own bed, with their own door. That you cannot truly recover from homelessness unless you have a space where you feel safe in that is yours. Shelters are not like this. They are giant rooms where you are not safe at all, where you don't have a door that you can close, where there is no staff that cares about your well-being. There's a staff that's there to like do the bare minimum because they probably don't get paid very much to do anything. But like, if you don't understand the difference between sleeping in a giant cell with a bunch of other people where there's no privacy and having your own room, like I don't even know, like I don't even know where to go from there.
LB City Mohammed chat in Denims.
Yes, Steve, thank you for the 4 months. Casual cupcake, welcome back.
The mayor are saying that interventions need to be allowed because people aren't taking the helping hand that is being offered to them. And of course, this once again raises debate over what's humane and what's not humane. Should people...
What's inhumane is allowing everybody else in the subway to be in danger. That's what's inhumane.
The fullest year of following this promo streamer SMH.
This is not happening, dude. This is not happening. True Moon, thank you for the 12 months. You are literally more likely to be a victim of homicide in 34 other states. The homeless people, they can shoot bullets out of their fingers. Their skin is toxic. Their hair cuts your skin like cake. It's just... Considering I was homeless 2 times in the past 5 years, I can answer a lot of questions about this. I mean, I feel like a lot of questions about being homeless can get answered if you just think about it for a second and recognize, what would I do if I was homeless? And what would help me if I was homeless? Doink, thank you for the tier 1. He continues to emphasize how necessary it is to touch grass. Yeah. Provide housing to the homeless. No more homeless, problem solved. But they have to earn it. It's not fair that the homeless people get to get their housing for free.
Like, the thing is, like, if you're thinking about just the people that are in this situation, those aren't the only people that are in the subway. That's absolute bullshit. Yeah, exactly. Right. And so that's terrible. That's what they do. And so, like, it's very easy to say, like, oh, well, I'm trying to help these people. Yeah. You have no idea how bad it is in Vancouver now. Yeah. Well, Vancouver's another place where it's expensive as fuck to live there. Right. And so, yeah. This is all related to the healthcare industry and how its for-profit system is failing humanity. I think that, like, I mean, there's like 50 reasons for this. I mean, that might be one of them, but that's it. But yeah, treat them like people. That's a good start. Well, I mean, they are being treated like people, but the thing is that, like, as I said before, like, my viewpoint with any of this is that your primary and, like, your first...
You just thought it was based to tell them that they're not allowed to stay in the subway. That's treating them like they're less than people.
Like, goal, your first order of operation should be making sure that the people that are, like, not breaking the law and that are doing the right thing, that they're safe. And if you're not achieving that goal as your first order of operations, you're doing the wrong thing. Like, prioritizing the well-being of criminals and people that are endangering other people is completely, in my opinion, wrong-headed.
Wrong-headed.
Who have nowhere else to go or can't get to one of these welfare centers really be treated in a manner that forces them to move along?
Prioritizing the criminals, guys. Their crime, being poor. Have they tried earning an honest living? Or playing WoW for 12 hours a day and shitting on DEI woke games? Maybe then they'd have a home. Yeah, I bet you guys didn't fucking think about it that way, did you? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Or is it possible that the city's care facilities are so unsafe and so dangerous that many folks are better off not using them? Because there have definitely been widespread reports that some of these care facilities are not exactly caring and the workers are rather rough on the guests, which makes sense why people might not want to go there either. And the timing of this new effort to help the homeless no longer live in the subway cannot be a coincidence.
This is ban all COVID deniers then? Yeah, I know, you typed that twice. I didn't read it the first time because it was retarded. And now I read it, you can stop typing it. That's not even the same thing. It's not even remotely close. You're just being a retard. Shut up.
This humanitarian disaster has been taking place beneath our streets for a long time, and this is the first time anything's being done to help the less fortunate move to a place that might be better suited to them. What do you think about that? Are the city's plans to help the homeless in the subway itself a coincidence? Is this something that they were planning on doing all along? And are they good plans? Is it a good thing to help someone move out of the subway if they truly think this is the only place that there is for them? Let me know what you think about that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
Yep. No, I think this is a huge issue. And I think it's an issue everywhere. And I think that the homeless issue is probably a great indicator. It's like one of those things where I was saying, like, this is the example of the kinds of people that think that they're helping. They think this is a good thing. That's it. It's a Tuesday. Yeah, these are people.
Compared to the alternative of making homeless people sleeping in the subway illegal and jailing them for it, yes. You got me. Caught. I don't think arresting homeless people for sleeping in the subway is good. Yep. Sorry. Caught.
People like and I think also with a lot of these people too, they never have to live with the consequences of their own altruism. And so, like, a lot of them, they think that it's like, oh, well, you know, you can just let them live that way. And, you know,
also nobody, this is very, yes. Nobody who said, quote, just leave them alone and nothing else was presented in this video. It was just people say ... yes. Well, because they have to invent a person to get mad at, right? He has to pretend like people are saying this stuff that they're not saying to make it look more ridiculous, because God forbid you empathize with people that are homeless.
Oh, it's fine. It's not that bad. You know, it's like, well, how do you know it's not that bad? Like, you're not there. And so I think that's like another really big issue, right? It's everyone's tough. They're all affected. Yeah, I think so too.
Do I want to see the comments on this?
The problem is human nature and how people don't like to ask for help, even though they're suffering. I would say that, like, I mean, you want to talk about like asking for help or whatever. The main issue is crime studies have shown ramping up police presence lowers crime drastically from a physiological standpoint. Most people commit crime because they think they won't get caught. Yeah, of course. Obviously, that's true. Actually, building affordable housing might help, but I guess appeasing NIMBYs is more important. Well, if you want to build affordable housing, obviously that helps. But the truth is that if you're building affordable housing to put these people in, you're also doing that at the expense of the people that are also paying into the system and can barely make ends meet on their own. So, like, it's basically like the way that I look at it is I try to help the people that try to help themselves the most.
How are you helping them? What do you mean I try to help them? What have you done to help anyone? What are you fucking talking about? What are you talking about?
And then after that's done, then we see what's left over. Like that.
Oh my God. Oh, dude, the comments are brutal in here. We should stop giving money to other countries and take care of our people first. Fun fact, New York has 137 homeless shelters with over 140,000 beds. They have more beds than they have homeless people. Homeless people can't drink or do their drugs, and so the majority of them avoid homeless shelters. It can't possibly be because the homeless shelters aren't safe. It can't possibly be that the homeless shelters aren't clean. It can't possibly be that things are constantly stolen in homeless shelters. Can't possibly be that there's strict check-in and check-out times. It can't possibly be that people can't bring their pets. It has to be that everyone is drug-addled and therefore they should die. That has to be the correct answer. This guy is not a New Yorker. Imagine thinking about how much you pay in taxes for the homeless and the subway while you step over trash while getting on the subway and trying to find a place to sit, but you can't sit because some homeless person's laying down on 3 seats, nodding out, while another homeless guy rants to himself an opposite seat. I'm a left-leaner, but too many on the left have lost their heads with all this sympathy for the homeless and not at all considering productive everyday New Yorkers working every day and paying ... You've never been to New York, sir. You've literally never been to New York. I'm telling you for a fact, when it comes to trains, the annoying thing is the people who, make a scene and get in your face. Nobody, I promise you, nobody gets mad, and I've never seen it happen, ever. Nobody has ever gotten mad at a homeless person sleeping. Because you want to know why? The homeless person sleeping isn't bothering anybody. They're just sleeping. Way more annoying is sometimes they'll be like performers, and the performers, like, I've seen them accidentally hit people. That's annoying. That's really annoying. People get really mad about that stuff. Nobody gets mad about the homeless person sleeping. I promise you. There's not a single person in New York that's upset about the homeless person sleeping. That's not true. The cops regularly get mad at homeless people. Oh yeah, but cops are they really even people? Like, let's just be real for a second. Just be real. So, a very balanced take here. Thanks. I'm going to give the short version of the story. I live in a small town and very rural area. We had a member of the community with mental illness who acts aggressively towards women and young girls. He was out of confinement for about 3 weeks before multiple community members intervened against him for harassing women. None of the citizens were put in legal jeopardy, and the police arrested him after shooting out his car tires upon his attempted escape, and now he's back on jail. Tolerating public mental illness isn't kind, and it is in fact not tolerated in the majority of small communities in the U.S. By the way, there's plenty of odd and eccentric people in the community who aren't harmful, and no one bothers them. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Guy who just really wants to share his story. Anyways, here's the story that's not related at all to what you're talking about.
That's, I think, how you can, like, that's the best system that you can have, in my opinion. I think that's the most ethical and fair system. So raise taxes on rich? Well, that, I mean, of course, right? But, like, it costs less money. Yeah, they don't want help. I mean, some of them don't. Some of them do. I mean, it's a mixed bag, right? It obviously is. It's a mental health care and housing issue. Most mental health care has been dismantled all over the world. Yeah, I think there's definitely that too. Yeah, you're 100% right. Building more housing helps people who are struggling to make ends meet as it lowers pressure on housing prices. Yeah, I mean, like with New York, it's probably hard to do because, like, you know, it's already like so developed at the same point. But yeah, and I think this is going to be universal basic income can't come soon enough. No, there'll be people with universal basic income that'll waste all of their money on drugs and they'll still be living in the subway. It's because some people are just stupid, and they're stupid. They're bad with money. They're impulsive and they don't think. And like, you know, some people, it's just way fewer though. Yeah, there's definitely going to be less of them. This is a really good video though. It is. There's also the anti-homeless architecture. Well, I mean, you got to go and get them yourself, right? You can't just rely on a bench to do it. So we're blaming left-wingers today? No, it's not really about blaming anybody from left-wing. I think in general, like, it's the government's fault. It's not like a left-wing or right-wing problem. It's everybody's problem. So yeah, hostile benches suck for everyone. Yeah, I think that the anti-homeless architecture is stupid. Because, like, you shouldn't need anti-homeless architecture because you shouldn't have homeless people sleeping on the shit to begin with. And like, so if you make it to where, like, if they're doing it, you get rid of them. You don't need to have these like weird contrived systems.
Ah, the mold roller coaster.
So like, yeah, that's the way that I see it. That's what makes more sense to me. Give me 1 second. Shit. Ah.
I need someone to do this to, like, my brain. Like, this is what my brain looks like after that video, and I need someone to do this to it. I need this, dude. Yes. Yes. I bet this feels so good for the car. Dude, I bet this feels so good for the car. Yes. What's he spraying it with? He's spraying it with some stuff. Need car tips from an old wise grease monkey. I got you. My car always smells like Christmas. Dude, that's dope. Okay. Let's skip ahead a little. Okay, he's putting the... Okay. How are the electronics fine? They aren't, LOL. This is my brain after an Asmongold video. This is my brain 30 days of no mold. Yes. Yes, power wash those leaves, dude. Meat of Venom's ass. Oh. Wide time.
Trump is going to be...
No.
Asmon wakes up screaming.
His nightmares is like someone doing this to his apartment or his house or whatever.